So we got the next feature premiere for MLB The Show 21 today, and this one was all about next-gen features for the game, and they spent about, I would say, like 85 to 90% of this feature premiere talking about Create a Stadium. And I gotta say, man, Create a Stadium is looking really nice. Now remember, Stadium Creator is only a next-gen feature, so if you are still on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, One X, whatever, you're not gonna have access to this yet. Now, before we jump into all of that in depth, they did reveal some more cards that are going to be in the 42 series, and these legends are going to be in those choice packs you get for pre-ordering. So last week, the legends they had in there were Jackie Robinson, Ken Griffey Jr., Willie Mays, Mariano Rivera, and Bob Gibson, and the ones they revealed today were Hank Aaron, Frank Thomas, Pedro Martinez, Cal Ripken Jr., and Babe Ruth. Remember, these aren't going to be like 99s. This is kind of similar to the pre-order pack we got for 20, the one with like Mickey Mantle and Gary Sheffield and guys like that in it. So there is still a chance that a lot of these guys could end up being collection rewards and things like that. So that's nice to look forward to, but now let's talk about Create a Stadium and let's listen to some of these clips they're going off of. The first one here is going to be kind of just talking about the basics.
Well, you can create 30. You'll have 30 slots when you get the game, but when you first get the game, those 30 slots are going to be pre-configured with 30 stadiums that have been created for you, and they'll be anything from just an empty template to a minor league representation of a park or a major league representation of a park, something just to help you get started. And then there'll be just a variety of other things, a variety of different parks that are all very creative and cover different themes. So you have like a beach theme, you've got a mountain theme, you've got desert theme, you've got a Jurassic theme. There's just a lot of variety, and you can actually start building with those, or you can start with one of the templates and build your own.
That's a very important distinction. You and the team have created a incredibly powerful editor. You can spend hours in there. But some people would just want to get in like, you know what? I don't want to start from scratch, but I do want to make a stadium and make it my own. So that's why we're shipping the game with 30 different templated stadiums. And you can go in there and you can edit those stadiums to your heart's content and make them their own. But, you know, if you want to jump into the deep end, there are templates where there is nothing but grass and you can go crazy.
So you got 30 Create a Stadium presets to choose from. You also can just start from scratch if you want to. And some of those backdrops look awesome, like that snow one. You're gonna see a lot of baseball stadiums that you would have never expected to see. Next up, they talked a little bit about some of the props you can put around your stadium.
So let's talk about props. I want to talk about how many props there are first. So that's my first question. How many props are there in the Stadium Creator Editor?
There's easily over 1,000. I think we're approaching about 1,200 props right now.
Wow, 1,200.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking a few weeks ago, and I was asking you this question about, we knew one of the things people wanted to do would be able to take some of the elements from an existing stadium and place it in their own stadium or mix and match. And that process is not as easy as people might think it is, because all of our major league and minor league and classic stadiums that we have in game, our artists create those from scratch. They are hand done. It takes a little over 3 months for one artist to do a stadium. And that stadium, it's like one piece. It's not pieces broken into things. That stadium is one cohesive piece of art. Can you tell us about the process of how you took that and was able to break it apart so that users could take these different items and move them around different stadiums?
Absolutely. So you already mentioned that the stadiums are a lot more like monolithic. They're just a big structure that has like a batter's eye or a scoreboard or something else built into that are the features that you envision when you think of your favorite stadium. So what we had our team of artists do is take a lot of those popular items that when you think about San Diego or Petco Park, you might think of, oh, I really think the batter's eye in Petco Park's really cool. So we try to pull out as many of the batter's eyes as we could. And it's not just a plug and play kind of thing. We actually have a totally different system in the way we actually did the Stadium Creator, is that everything's a puzzle piece that can be locked together. Batter's eyes, scoreboards, light structures, all that. We were able to pull all that out. Had to do some work to condition it, but now we have all these individual pieces ready for the community to actually take advantage of. And they can start with a likeness of a stadium that they like, but then they can also customize it or personalize it to bring in their own unique character too.
Absolutely. And so speaking of batter's eye, I know somebody's going to ask this. Can I create my own batter's eye? And what's going to stop somebody from putting a giant statue where the batter's eye is supposed to be? The fact of the matter is you actually can't. If you try to put any prop within, I believe, 5 or 10 feet of that wall, it just won't fit. And even if it did fit, you can't save that stadium and you can't use it. So you don't have to worry about that. The batter's eyes that are in the game, those are the only ones you can use for the batter's eye. So you don't have to worry about that.
So that clip right there had some pretty good information with the props, and what I liked was talking about the props in relation to the batter's eye, because sometimes you can grief somebody in online play with certain, times of day that you play at, or different things where people can try to manipulate how it looks with the batter's eye. So the less of a chance to do that, in my opinion, the better. And right after that, they talked a little bit about how this is going to work in Diamond Dynasty, and they've said before that there are 150 outfield wall presets you could choose from in Stadium Creator. Now, if you choose one of those presets and you mess with any of the dimensions, they said even if you move a wall like 1 inch, that stadium will no longer be eligible to use in online play. But if you keep the walls the same and you just edit the things in the background and you put different props back there, you can use that stadium, but the second you touch one of the walls, you can't use it online anymore. And speaking of Diamond Dynasty and other places where you can use the Create a Stadium, they put up this graphic towards the end of the stream. These are all the areas where you can use Create a Stadium. You got Play Now for exhibition, online rated, retro, you can use it in franchise and Road to the Show, you can use it in offline home run derby, options explorer, custom practice and postseason, and these are the Diamond Dynasty modes you can use it in: ranked seasons, BR, events, play versus CPU, and extra innings. Now, unfortunately, there are some areas of the game where you won't be able to use Create a Stadium. For whatever reason, they couldn't figure it out with the coding this year, or things are just set a certain way. These modes, you will not be able to use it. Online play with friends, online home run derby, March to October custom leagues, conquest, showdown, moments, and DD casual. And I do have to say, even with how cool this looks, not being able to use this in play with friends is a little disappointing. It would be kind of cool to play against your friend, saying like, yo, I just made this sick stadium, come play this game. You can't actually do that, which is a little unfortunate. However, you can have your friend just upload a stadium to the vault, and then you can go try out a stadium. You just can't play against the guy who made it in a non-ranked mode. Anyway, back to the mode itself, there are different ways you can use it at the start. Like if you kind of want like a beginner mode where you can kind of learn it and not have too much go on in the stadium, they have that.
So easy mode is a way to make the Stadium Creator more accessible, because in the end, it is a complex tool, but we try to hide some of that from you until you get into the pro mode. So easy mode, you get in there and you can think of it as you can personalize what's already there a little bit to your liking. So you can change a light structure for another light structure, or you can change a stand type to another stand type, or you can change a building to another building. Like there's a lot of built-in things to allow you to swap between like items. As you already mentioned, Ramon, is easy mode also prevents you from editing the field wall dimensions. So it helps you keep your creation competitive safe, so you can actually upload it to the vault and play online.
And with that, they do also have tutorials in the game, and these tutorials are actually going to be taught to you from Coach. So that's a nice little touch. I like the fact that Coach is actually in the game. Another thing they're talking about is the stands. How does it actually work when you're putting stands together in different types of bleachers?
So we have a total of 3 different elements. We have basic movement, front, back, right, left. You have a toggle to go up or down, but you also have the ability to turn on this snapping mode. And snapping will work across every element, but it works great with the stands. What you do is pick a stand, you place it where you want it, and then you go select another section of stand, and then you turn on snapping with L3. Once you get the stands close, like a left edge close to the right edge of another stand, it'll start moving slowly over to it. And once it starts moving like that, you just hit X to confirm, and it'll snap automatically to that. And then not only that, it'll actually put another piece of stand where it thinks you want the next one. So you can actually create a long segment, or you can create a big arch of stands really quick. And all you have to do is worry about positioning the first one, and everything else kind of comes automatically after that. Not only can you use that for stands, you can use that for everything else. So if you're placing road sections, you place a piece of road and then you start snapping roads, and you can paint a mile-long road in just a few seconds. And it is a really powerful feature, and it has a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get into that, it's actually an incredibly useful feature, and I'm sure people will be able to use that a lot to make sure their alignments and the way they position everything in their environments is actually as accurate as they want it to be.
Man, this is looking so good. It just looks like it's optimized. It looks like there's been a lot of time that's gone into it, thinking of all the different ways that it's not going to be exploited, especially for online play, while also giving a player who doesn't even want to play online the freedom to make whatever stadium they want. They can go as crazy as they want with the walls. It's gonna be so sick, and I just can't wait to get my hands on this, dude. I will leave the link to this feature premiere in the description of this video. There's more details they talked about. I just went over some of the big things that stood out to me. Down in the comments, let me know what you think about Stadium Creator. Are you kind of sad that it's only a next-gen feature? Are you on next-gen and you stoked for it? Let me know your thoughts on it. I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up button. Dude, we have a week until this game comes out, man. I can't wait. I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.